and you feel for athletes like Sergei Shabenkov, right? Who
Mhm.
are, or some of their other winners that have been going to world championships. And yes, they get to win and they get their moment, but it probably feels lessened because they know how they're viewed globally. And they're also standing up on a podium listening to the ANA song instead of the other one. So I feel for those individual athletes, but their federation is completely letting them down because it seems
Yeah.
they're more interested in proving a point than they are interested in abiding by the WADA code. That's how it's always felt to me.
Absolutely. It's bizarre. It's bizarre to me, and yeah, I think I do feel for the athletes that have been successful in the ANA era. Lasaskine, obviously the best high jumper in the world.
Mm-hmm.
She's
Sidorova in the
someone,
pole vault.
yeah, it's gonna people that are affected by this who have done no harm and are just being negatively impacted by their governing bodies' continued corruption, continued denial. It's a
Yeah.
shame because there are good athletes in Russia, even without a state-sponsored doping program. But they all get kind of lumped in when the governing body of Russian athletics continues to operate in bad faith.
Well, and now they're going a step further, right? And they're putting restrictions on ANA athletes. Now it's like, okay, not only
Yeah.
are you not able to compete for Russia, and not only do you have to jump through any of these hoops, now you can't even do anything.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're looking at a scenario where you're not even able to compete, even if you are able to meet all these benchmarks that they put in initially, because they wanted to separate the athletes from the country, and they wanted to say, hey,
Mm-hmm.
look, we understand you do not work for the federation, you represent the federation, but you are not in charge, you should not have to pay the cost of all these mistakes that have come before you, which I think was the fairest way possible to adjudicate it, because there did need to be some punishment for the huge malfeasance that was taking place with the federation. But now that looks to be going away, and it looks to
Mm-hmm.
be, well, now we have no other choice. We have no other leverage than to start pulling the card of the ANA folks as well too.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
then that really sucks because this is the prime
Yeah.
of their career.
It kind of strikes me, and I could be wrong, but with what Russia's doing right now by not taking these steps to get back in compliance is like, if we're going to be stuck in the mud with this process, we're also going to bring down these ANA athletes with us. Like, don't think you're better than us. We're going to drag you through this as well. I don't know if that's the
Yeah,
case
yeah.
at all, but it's kind of like, well, we're in trouble and you're still out there competing and, willing to get medals, be on the podium while not representing Russia. We're going to take that away from you because we don't agree with this. So you're still Russian.
Mhm.
Don't forget about that. I have no idea if that's the case. That's a little bit what this feels like because they're not making these payments, and now these these ANA athletes are going to have to, you know they're going to have to decide what's their loyalty. Are they going to say, I'm going to fight for myself and go against the Russian machine publicly? Or am I going to, stick in line and basically not say anything? It's a challenge to them, right? It's a challenge. Like, is Shabenkov going to
Yeah.
come out and condemn Russia? That's in the past is not a good idea, obviously.
But
So
what's his path back to competing if he does do that? Is he going to change allegiances? Is he going to sit out and do a transfer of
yeah.
allegiance? Like he's really stuck now, and
Mm-hmm.
so there's like you're talking about with Lasaskine, they're really stuck now because it's not
Mm-hmm.
like World Athletics is asking them to do something else, and if they do that thing, then they're able to speak free and clear. They're attached now. Their fate is completely linked as it was before. They had a moment where they broke off when they allowed them to be ANA athletes, but if we get all of this has been pushed a little bit and hasn't become that big of a story because everything got pushed to
Yeah.
2021, so it's not being brought up as much. But what could they do? What more can these athletes do that were already in that pool, so that way they can compete in the Olympics? And they're being used. They're being used as fodder on both sides of this thing.
Right. Yep.
And
Yeah.
I mean,
They're the
obviously, World Athletics is in the right here on this one, but they're the pawns, right? They're the
Yep.
leverage on both sides.